Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are looking at what's to come for the second half-ish of the Formula One season. We've already passed the halfway point of the season, but summer break is about to end next week. About this time, we'll be talking about the Dutch Grand Prix and what happened in that race. But today, I'm going to talk about what is to be kind of expected and what's to come for this second half-ish of the season. So first off, what's expected from the teams, the constructors themselves, and the short form is not very much. It's been reported by many news outlets out there that many of the constructors have already started working on next year's car, and it's already going to show because there's not many upgrades scheduled for most of these teams that will boost their car in a major way. A lot of upgrades teams might bring to the upcoming races will just be minor, more track-specific upgrades, and there might be other upgrades brought to the cars in case the team is very close in the championship with another team, as a lot of the teams in the bottom half of the standings are very close together. You know, you look at the current standings and Aston Martin is in 6th place with 52 points, and then you go to the 10th place team Alpine with 20, a 32 point difference. I don't think Alpine will catch up to Aston Martin. I think 32 points is a reasonable target to get for a team, but the way that the season has gone for Alpine and how the rest of the season might go for a lot of those bottom half teams, I really doubt that Alpine will move all that much. And one of the outliers on that standing board is Sauber with 51 points, and really, I think we all know the only reason why they're up so high is because of Nico Hülkenberg's impressive British Grand Prix podium placement. But not to only say that that performance was the only reason why they are 7th in the standings, Gabriel Bortoletto's put in some fantastic results lately as well, so maybe we'll see some Sauber action in the top 10 going forward for the rest of the year, which will be fantastic for a team like that who's been at the bottom of the standings for the last few years for sure. And then you look at the top, and I don't think it's anything crazy to say that McLaren will win the Constructors' Championship and one of their two drivers will win the Drivers' Championship. It's really up for grabs for who you think will win the Drivers, but the Constructors is already done basically. I've already seen some things where McLaren could win it as early as the Circuit of Americas at the US Grand Prix, and that's only in a couple of weeks. And then just to add on to McLaren's point, I mean, a lot of fans love F1, but a lot of fans love good races. And the last couple of races have been all right, but the gap to the winners have just been absolutely horrendous in my opinion. You know, and it just shows how good the McLaren car is this year. The last four obviously won by McLaren, each of them, but look at the gaps, you know, starting, you know, basically at 20 seconds or higher. You know, these are races that weren't just won by racing straight through. There were obstacles in the way like red flags, safety cars, virtual safety cars, and the weather as well, can't forget that. Just the way that McLaren's running that car this year, and considering how no team is going to have major upgrades for the rest of the year, I hate to say it as an F1 fan, but I'm not surprised if races continue like this for the rest of the year. One thing that fans can get really excited for, knowing that summer break's going to be over, and we've already heard some rumors starting in the last couple of weeks and months, is driver changes for next year. And one driver change that people have been really keen on is the one at Mercedes. Mercedes technically does not have any drivers for next year, but I'd highly doubt that Kimi Antonelli won't be there. So he'll probably fill one of the seats. But the seat that has been kind of passed around and rumored about is George Russell. He still doesn't have a contract for next year. Don't be afraid, Mercedes fans. I still do believe he will sign with them, you know, re-sign with Mercedes. He is the leader of that team between the two drivers. Obviously, you have a youngster in Kimi Antonelli who just graduated high school, for God's sakes. You know, you can't just make him the leader of the team. I doubt they would if they had that second seat available. They got a more older guy. But George Russell is a great leader for that team. He's done fantastic in races all the time. You know, he has 4 wins with them, 20 podiums. George Russell is a fantastic driver. He's a very smart driver. And like we saw, you know, back in Belgium last year, even though he got disqualified, he called his own race, basically. He has a very high IQ as a racing driver. And so I don't see why they wouldn't re-sign him. Now, why I say don't be afraid, basically what Mercedes has said when they get asked this question now, are you re-signing George Russell? You know, I think George Russell even said it himself. It's a matter of when, not if. So it seems like they do want to get a contract for him. I think they're just trying to find the right terms and length for him. And I'm not surprised if that contract is actually signed after the season, considering just how they've had many chances to do it this season and they still haven't done it. Another thing to keep an eye on is the Cadillac drivers next year. Obviously, Cadillac joining Formula One next year as the 11th team. So over the last couple of months, ever since Cadillac was announced as a team, rumors were swirling about who's going to drive for them. It's expected over the next couple of weeks, maybe the next month, we're supposed to hear who's going to drive for them. And these are the two reported Cadillac drivers that I was reading online when I was writing my notes for this video. It's Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez. We both know these guys, obviously. Sergio Perez most recently raced for Red Bull, obviously, for the last couple of years. A lot of fans know him as the Mexican Minister of Defense back in 2021, putting on a fantastic performance, you know, playing defense against Lewis Hamilton in Max Verstappen's title fight. Valtteri Bottas obviously was Lewis Hamilton's teammate during that time, raced for Mercedes, and then once he kind of got kicked out for George Russell, he went to, at the time, was Alfa Romeo, and then Stake Sauber just last season. Now, a lot of people give Sergio Perez slack for how he performed in that Red Bull last year. You look at what the Red Bull drivers have done this year, and then you're looking at Sergio Perez kind of like, we're sorry, dude, because you actually did better. And then finally, just for something fun to do for the end of this video, is my top races to watch for the end of the year. Like I said earlier, I still think McLaren will probably dominate a lot of these races until the end of the year. So I don't know if we'll be able to get a fun race. Who knows? We still always have those crazy races in Formula One that you don't expect the winner to be, or it's a winner that hasn't gotten, you know, it's not a suspected winner, I'll say. So these are my top races to look out for, and I'm starting with the Dutch Grand Prix. Now you're saying, Adam, why are you starting with the Dutch Grand Prix? Well, it's the first race back after summer break. It's a good race to get back into the F1 spirit. It's exciting. Finally, I could watch F1 again. The other reason just kind of being, it's the second last time we're going to be seeing the Dutch Grand Prix. Next year is their final year of their contract. It does not seem like it's getting renewed. And the way that next year's race is already being branded by the organizers as the last one, it seems like they're not going to be coming back. And it's also, you know, a fun watch if you're Max Verstappen fan or Dutch yourself. And then there's a long way until my next top race. It's the Brazilian Grand Prix on November 9th. Now, we all love Brazil. It's a classic. A lot of people think it should return as the last race on the calendar. I believe so as well. I find it is a really fun race. It always has something crazy going for it. Either it's the weather or a safety car, or is that Glock going slowly? There's always something at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and that's why I have it on this list as one of my top races. And finally, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, I know I just said I want Brazil as the final race of the year, but Abu Dhabi on December 7th should be, at this certain point, I think it should be a fantastic race. Why? Think about how close Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are in the standings. If it stays that way up until Abu Dhabi, that race is going to be so crucial. And we all know why. Because whoever's probably going to win that race, or most likely win that race, or just get more points than the other, will be world champion. Do I think we'll have another 2021 all over again? Nope. I don't think so. I don't think you could ever top a 2021. So anyways, there's my preview for what's to come post-summer break here for Formula One. Obviously, the races might not be the best going forward, especially with most of the teams already working on next year's car. But outside the track, we're going to have some interesting news involving Cadillac, George Russell and Mercedes, what's happening there. So it still should be somewhat interesting heading towards the end of Abu Dhabi in December. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to click the like button and subscribe to this channel if you like what you saw today and to have more F1 content. Also, ring the bell to get notified of when I record next, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think will happen for the second half of the Formula One season. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Peace. Have a great day.